everyone, and welcome to the STC Ultimate Ascension Reborn Tournament. I'm here commentating Chris versus Arcie. We have a great match going on. I'm excited to commentate. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. Yeah. We're now heading on to practice one on our first map. What the? What is happening? Hello? I'm gonna try to rejoin. Hope that solves the issue. I don't know what just happened there. Alright, you should be good. I really have no clue what that was. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. That would be very unfortunate, as obviously that would heavily impact the viewing experience. But we are now heading out to true practice one here. Both of them will be going for skip. I know Arcie going into this match was hesitant to learn and attempt the skips, but he did realize that it probably is for the best. Probably gives him the best chance if he just goes for basic variations at least. So as you can see, Arcie will already be finishing a 17-second time there. So that's about what we should be expecting. Just solid times, but if Chris finishes, you know, runs with his route, they'll be much faster than Arcie's. So Arcie is kind of banking on Chris playing a little inconsistent skip-wise, but I do think that is his best chance, honestly. Oh, yeah. By the way, new STC merch drop. We finally have the Arcie jersey. Rocking it today for his first match. Second match in the tournament, but you can see Shane is wearing it as well. Great jersey. Make sure to get it down below. There's also a Chris jersey available if that's your taste. Practice 2 here. I wonder if either one of them are going to be finishing, just to gauge what kind of time they'll be getting. Ooh, see, that's where Chris's less consistent route is gonna mess him up a little bit, but Arcie doesn't seem to capitalize that notably. Yeah, Chris just not playing the most consistent here. Obviously, Chris, one of the best shipwrecked players in the game, and honestly, one of the best players, period, in the game for skip and skipless. Man, so just heading into this match, I mean, the thing, before we saw Arcie practice, the headline was kind of, Chris is gonna win every skip map, right? Unless something kind of tragic happens, but Arcie has been practicing these skips a lot. He's been getting much better, much more well-rounded as a player. Honestly, I think that gives him a way bigger chance in this match. And obviously, Chris still heavily favored, but an Arcie win, I can somewhat see the path now, unlike before. It's important we do have a bet going here for Chris to win the match. Pretty heavy bet, 3,100 tokens on Chris, just 400 on Arcie, so pretty big payout if you did bet on Arcie there. We'll now be heading on to round one. I mean, good luck to both. I am curious on, hopefully Arcie's route can stay consistent as it's designed to. Oh, Arcie already misses the first edge hit. He's already struggling. We'll be seeing if Chris can finish this here. Ooh, Chris is already on a really solid run. Ooh! Ooh! That's a DQ. That's definitely a DQ. Arcie's just gonna take that skipless. Yeah, I'm gonna DQ Chris there, just due to a huge flick. Definitely, if we need to look at that after, we will. But for now, I'm gonna write that down as a DQ. Round 2 here. Arcie hits the etch it this time. Obviously, Chris starting out with the DQs, not at all what you want to see from a skip route. And Chris already in the ground. Arcie, failing that jump, will go for a safety route as he did on round 1. Yeah, very, very safe here. We'll still just sub skipless with the 21-3. Chris is struggling, taking a skipless route. He's going just across the map. This is not looking good for him at all. I do think he should practice a little bit. Just take this for practice. This is already hopefully not counting for your average. So getting... Oh, why? He's practicing the skipless route, actually. And you can tell he's just not familiar with it. You're actually supposed to... Yeah. There you go. Nope. Yeah, he's just kind of figuring it out. It's just... It's not looking great for him. It's looking already kind of grim on Shipwrecked map 1. This is one that he was kind of destined to take. So, an upset here would already be huge in terms of the match result. But he didn't do any practice with skip. That makes me think that he actually wants to go maybe just safety, which is definitely risky. Arcie already getting a sub skipless time means Chris can't really afford. Oh, Arcie just makes it up there. Definitely very far behind Chris, but I'm gonna just seeing if Chris can finish this out. He's on the bottom. Oh, he has a death. He's counting already a death. He AFKs. Arcie finishes a 21-6. Wow. Chris already. Huge blunder from him on Shipwrecked. Match already not going his way at all. And hopefully this doesn't, you know, put him on a course to lose more. You know, we hope that he can isolate Shipwrecked mentally. Yeah, Arcie keeps missing that jump. I mean, I don't know. I don't think Chris can do anything with that DQ on first round. Means that round was basically just a DNF. Yeah, he's gonna be getting a 15 here. It's slightly too late though. Arcie 21-3. Round 5. You know, hopefully Chris, you know, makes up the most time he can here. Maybe he wants to dispute the DQ, which probably won't go through, but I mean, probably his best course of action here. Yeah, Chris gets a 16. Arcie gets his best round in the last as well with an 18-2. I am encountering the same visual error again. This is a little worrying. So I will be rejoining. Hopefully this doesn't happen too much. I don't want that to be an issue with the match. Yeah, if you're curious, I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's maybe a block strap issue, but I should be able to mitigate it and at least not have it be destructive towards the match. So, just looking at the results here, Chris losing Shipwrecked was definitely not something that any of us expected, and I don't know if he's... some on-chat discussion going on about that DQ on Chris's ship there. I just marked it down as a DQ. It's definitely not a final result. I think, honestly, if we look at that DQ, I just think the main point of... If the flick caused him to fall down, then I'd be fine allowing it. But if he flicked and then fell off separately, then I would have a much tougher time clearing that DQ. But I wasn't super... Obviously, round one wasn't super locked into the exact situation. And obviously, we want to have the most fair outcome possible, but obviously, with situations like that, it's never... Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I had to rejoin. Sorry about that. But regardless, even if that DQ does get cleared after the match, it'll probably still be hanging over Chris's head. And Chris... What? Chris is AFK again. Why is Shane not? Why is Shane on AFK? Chris is kind of one where, you know, just even a mental thing that can easily spiral.
What are you talking about? That didn't even benefit me. I literally fell down.
Okay, so that was a voice message of him yelling. Oh, Arcie missing the end zone by quite a big margin there. $46.7 for Chris there is probably the standard that we're going to be seeing IGT. 46.6 IGT for either of them will be a little bit better than expected, but especially for Chris with his server, I could see it happening. I think Arcie only has one IGT 0.6 ever, so... Alright, round one here. And the voice messages Chris is sending, it just kind of shows me that it is getting to his head. And obviously that's unfortunate. That's not what I want. That's not what anyone wants. So, round one here, but I do hope that doesn't affect him, because I'm not trying to be, you know, I'm not trying to be nitpicky about any DQs or anything, because I've been in that situation before as well. I mean, solid run from Chris here. But Arcie might be catching up a little bit in movement. But kind of wide spirals, especially from Arcie. Maybe losing a little bit of that time. Definitely will come down to the end zone. Arcie was kind of struggling with that a little bit in practice. Yeah, 46-7, 47 now. Round 2 here. Dude. Oh, okay. I guess redo for Chris there. I'll let Arcie finish this out. This will count for Arcie's second round. Obviously, redos just kind of apply to individual players, so 46-9 for him. All right, round 2 from Chris here. Redo for Chris. Did see Arcie slightly improve his IGT with a 46-9. Hopes to follow that up with probably another 46-7. Yep. Does it again with the 46-7. Looking great here on Tropical Islands for him. Alright. Round 3 both here. We'll be seeing them both play together again. Chris is getting a little angry about that DQ. It's that discussion is still happening in general, but I'm trying to be on his side here. I'm trying to say we can talk about it, but obviously as a host, you can't stop. You know, you can't stop map 1 round 1 about it, and I don't want that to be forgotten, as that could warrant a DQ for sure. We will take another look at it. That's all I'm trying to say. Chris, maybe not as clean as a spiral. Arcie falls though. I'm not sure if Arcie had a great spiral or if Chris's spiral was a little subpar this round, but Arcie looked much closer. But even if Chris finishes a 46-8 here, that'll be great for him. Oh, wow. Yeah, 46-7 again from Chris, saying super, super consistent. Chris already locking in a great 4-6-700 average, so we'll just be going all out here trying to get some 4-6-6 touches in. Arcie definitely kind of underperforming for his standards on Tropical Islands, I bet. Best run, just 1-4-6-9 so far, but probably will turn up the heat now. Oh, yeah, Chris falls. Oh, but Arcie falls. That's a much bigger deal. He will DNF all 6 of his lives there. Yeah, pretty important here for Arcie to finish round 5 here. Obviously, a 47-0 already counting is not great, but can definitely make up for it. Sorry, guys. Oh. You see my constant issues with picking maps. Hopefully it doesn't affect these competitors, you know. They do want to get just right into it. Ooh, a lot of kind of wide spiral, kind of. This probably will be a Chris map. Chris likely will win. I don't see, unless some crazy touches, which is entirely possible. Let's not forget Arcie in a high ping server here. But Chris getting another 4-6-7 will be another chance at a 4-6-6 touch. Well, possibly with a 1-1 match on our hands, we will now be heading on to map 3 Winter Cove. This is one that we actually do have a bet going on. Under over winning average 15.5. Something that sounds very, very doable, but if you look at our front runner Chris here, that's not something he's been able to do in tournaments, especially as of late. Huh. I can't right now. Arcie practicing quite a bit of skipless here. Chris will be going for full skip. Arcie not as competent on Winter Cove skip, so he's going to be banking on Chris repeatedly missing. But, I mean, if Arcie keeps making stuff like that, mistakes like that when he's playing skipless, and it's honestly just not going to be worth it. I mean, the main pride of playing skipless here is going to be consistency. And if he's unable to consistently finish, 17 sevens, it really is just not worth it. Chris, I believe, has 3 13-1s, which is the current world record. He's looking very, very strong in Winter Cove there. As you saw, instant M9 will get a 13-2, tying second in the world. Great time for him to get there in practice. Is looking very, very strong. Only one other person in the world even has a 13-2, so if he can perform like that in tournament, he should be completely fine against Arcie. Arcie will practice the skip. Probably seeing how easily Chris hit that, will opt to take it for at least a couple runs. Oh! I mean, look at that. He did hit that pretty easily, so maybe he will opt for full 5 skip as well. Alright. Well, we're now heading on to round 1. Arcie will be going for skipless. Chris kind of taking a safety, but is unable to get it. His safety route's not panning out great here. There it is. Arcie 18-0. Chris will just take the DNF off the bat there. Obviously, he was able to clutch very nicely on Shipwrecked, getting, 2 sub-17s the last 2 runs. I believe he will be able to do the same here on Winter Cove. I actually was a little bit shocked that he went for that specific safety route, as I don't use that. Ooh, Chris misses the M9. This still should be fine if he can hit this nicely. Oh, but he misses. Okay, there it is. I'm not sure if it's sub-skipless. It's not. It is pretty far behind skipless with a 19.5. Obviously, that's honestly not too bad, as Chris does have a chance to get, literally, 14-second time. So, getting a 19, not terrible, but you do want to pick up the pace here in round 3. Hopefully, Chris does that. This should be Arcie's last skipless run. Chris is just really struggling with this. I'm 9. Oh my gosh. Big issues. Arcie, 18-1. Chris takes the DNF. I think it's kind of getting to Chris's head. He should at least be practicing a little bit. Arcie should be going for skip now. Yep, he is. Round 4. Chris still opting for a safety. Oh, he finally hits it clean. This will be huge for him. Yeah, 13-7. Arcie 69 does improve his average, though. I mean, let's not forget, Chris still does need to finish a run here, starting with 2 DNFs. Oh, dang it. Round 5. Chris is still not out of the mud. Oh. Oh, he needs to go. He needs to go. All right. Chris claiming lag spike. We will give him a redo. But alright. Obviously, that was a weird mistake for Chris to make there, so lag spike does make a little bit of sense, but we will be checking that just to make sure. We don't want weird ooze to be given out unprompted. Alright, round 5 for Chris here. Oh, I think he knows he can just go skipless here. I mean, you don't have a ton of time, so, I mean, still would prefer to get like an 18 low. This should be good enough, but it's a little, I believe RCD NF that last. Yeah, Chris only won that by less than half a second, so maybe not the highest IQ play, but it did end up working out in his favor. And that actually, that 17.2 average he got there is his tournament PR, which is a little crazy considering that counted, you know, a mid-19 and a mid-18. So, congrats to you if you betted over 15.5. You will win that. You're now heading on to the Realm Between, which, compared to many skip maps in this game, Chris is actually not the greatest at, but he will be consistent at it. Still do favor him over Arcie for sure, but he's not going to be, you know, the same legend as he is on many other skip maps. He will just be solid. But he does climb much faster than Arcie. I know Arcie does not have Mage Run. He doesn't own that item. So, it is meta for climbing that, I believe. So, Chris will unfortunately be gaining a little bit of time just due to anims. But, I mean, I am sure Chris is more than likely performing it slightly better. So, probably won't matter too much. I wonder if this will be a consistency kind of map, you know, or if time will get involved, which Realm, when time is involved, is a very, very fun map. So I do hope that this is a competitive map in terms of consistency. Chris is honestly, it looks like he's having great climbs though. Like, literally, like, world record level climbs. Maybe not that, but close to it, if not. Chris finishing just before the 2-minute deadline there. Yeah, Chris is looking great on this map, and he is recovering a little bit mentally from, obviously, the shipwreck DQ situation. I don't want to keep bringing that up, but ooh, Chris faltering a little bit at the start there. Hope that doesn't look like the great sign, but hopefully that stuff like that won't happen too much in the actual rounds. Ooh, Chris dealing with a little bit of inconsistency now. Not looking great on his end, but yeah, look at that. Great climb from him, honestly. I just think if he can stay relatively consistent, he should win this with ease. I'd take Chris time-wise by a landslide. But as I said early in the match, Arcie's biggest friend here will be Chris's inconsistency. Whoa. Whoa. Not sure what happened there for Arcie. Hopefully that doesn't happen in rounds. Never seen that actually. Our Chris is saying his Roblox is frozen. Hopefully that gets dealt with before round 1. Arcie's gonna take a lot of time here, so. Okay, he should be back. He needs to work on this climb. It's time-wise, I don't even see a way that Arcie can win this. He's gonna need Chris to make a couple mistakes for sure. Alright, round 1. Both of them make it through the start. Both of them will land for the climb. Chris flies off! Exactly what Arcie needs here. He probably saw that as well. He hits the M9 cleanly. This is going to look good for him. Yeah, 25. 25-2. Chris. Wow. Like, that is a great climb. For 37-4. Round 2 here. Hopefully Chris finishes this yet again, but let's not remember all 3 skip maps, or the last 2, he has started out with the DNF, and he did end up performing fine for the most part. Both of them make it up. It's now an M9 battle. They're pretty close on time. Oh, Chris makes the M9. Arcie misses his first, gets his second try. Chris is going to be finishing a 23 here. 23-0 for him. Arcie not too far behind with the 25-0. Arcie's very, very consistent here. 2 25s back-to-back. But as I said, Chris's time will just completely crush Arcie. Both of them seem to land. Chris very far ahead here. Oh, both of them make the M9 first try, but Chris is much faster. He's going to be pacing for another 23 here. 23-3. Arcie improving yet again with the 24-6. Great consistency from him. Obviously, he did not want to go for realm skip. I'm not sure if he was planning on going for realm skip before this match, so props to him for staying this consistent. Round 4. Chris maybe dealing with freeze. Will be redo. More than likely. Oh, Arcie misses. Oh, no! Hey! He survives. Yep, Chris. Okay. Arcie claiming a redo as well. I'm not exactly sure, but I guess I guess I'm not sure what was happening on Arcie's end, but we'll of course have a look at it after the match. Obviously, Chris, claiming at the very, very start of the map. Chris flies off. Chris claiming at the very start of the map is very, very different than Arcie being most of the way through it, then just randomly requesting redo. So, kind of different situations there. Round 5 both here. Obviously, just to follow up on that Arcie redo, I mean, if we deal that it shouldn't have been a redo, that will be a DNF on Arcie's end, so we will be checking for it. Oh, Chris, not a fast climb here at all. But he makes the M9. This should be good for Chris here. Probably 24. Yep. 24-3 to 25-5. Okay, final map here. Acid Realm. A skipless map to end it off. Pretty untraditional. But obviously, the main bottleneck of this map is not only this first turn, but the end zone at the very end there. Yeah, Chris missing the end zone there just kind of shows Arcie fell just before the end zone. That whole end sequence is kind of a killer. Something that these guys need to get their practice in for. This slope as well. Not as much of a run killer, but that's where so much of the time is going to be saved. So you'll need to hit that clean in a match as competitive as this. Neither of them, reset to take another shot at practicing the map. They had time to do that, but chose not to. Oh, Chris failing at the very, very start. Hopefully that isn't an issue in rounds. But I don't want him to, see that practice mistake and, start taking that too wide in rounds, because I think the battle here will be, the time that we're going to be looking at is a 37-4 about. So if either of these guys, which I do assume that they will get some 37-3 touches, but, I wouldn't count on it. Arcie with a 37-7 IGT is very far below that standard. Chris might be opting to do double seam strategy in rounds to ensure that he touches the end zone. Round 1. Good luck to both. I honestly think round 1, honestly, you could just safety a little bit. Just try to stay alive. Acid is one of the most volatile skipless maps. It's one of the few skipless maps where you should focus a little bit on just safetying runs. Standard traditional skipless maps they don't really have that element. I mean, they both seem to be on fine runs here. I think maybe Chris saved a little bit of time. Oh, but he's still there. Oh, Chris misses the end zone. Arcie takes it with a 37-8. This not looking great for Chris there. Hopefully he can work on that a little bit. But obviously you don't have too much time to make adjustments anymore. Round 2. Both of them made big mistakes there at the end zone. So, if they can clear that up, that'll be huge. Chris, take that kind of very wide. Arcie, I think, gained quite a bit of time there. Chris is not looking to be on great runs, both in rounds 1 and 2. Yeah, Arcie's like caught up with him, IGT. Nearly. Arcie takes it, IGT, as Arcie gets a 37-6. Round 3. Quite a bit on the line. Chris hits that much better than his first 2 runs. I think he knows that he needs to turn it up. 37 sems will not be enough for this match. Arcie may be slightly worse than before, but it's nothing catastrophic. I do think a big part of that's just Chris having a better run. Oh, but Chris, not a good ending. He misses the end zone. Arcie gets another 37-6. Chris starting out with 2 DNFs and 3 runs. No more chances to miss end zone here. Round 4. No chances left for Chris. Arcie finished first 3 out solid, but obviously had the 37-8, which is not a super fast time, but he bonks. This will not improve his average at all. Chris, this is crucial for him to finish. Not only finish, but get a solid time as well. He had a 37-7 on round 2, which is not at all what you want to see time-wise. Let's see what he does here. Steams. Gets a 37-5 IGT as Arcie misses the end zone. Chris just put himself right back in it. Obviously, still needs to finish one more run here on round 5. Very crucial round 5 here. Very crucial. Good luck to both, and obviously, especially to Chris, who does need to finish this out. Arcie will just be looking to get another 37-6 IGT, hoping for 0.4, 0.3 touches. I do think this whole Acid Realm has been a little bit slower time-wise than I expected, but still is very competitive. Arcie's, I think, looking to take this very tight. I think Slope sunk a little bit. He's a little bit behind Chris, but obviously none of that matters if Chris does not hit the end zone here. Arcie should take these ending lines as tight as possible. Gain as much frames back as you can. Chris, slope sinks! Chris misses the end zone! Oh! A slope sink for Chris! He will take the DNF as Arcie gets a 37-7 IGT. That is a DNF average on Acid Realm for Chris. He still wins the match 3-2 IGT, even with the DQ on Shipwreck. So, he should not be in too much trouble. Yeah, I mean, huge GGs to both competitors. Great match today. Obviously, had a couple incidents, but we made it through. And, I mean, Chris, I'm going to assume took the match. But, yeah, I mean, congrats. Thank you all.